There's something surreal about starting a journey here in the heart of Rajasthan's Thar desert. But this is just the start. We aren't going to be spending the entire day in the desert. We are going to be going beyond in the new Tiguan R Line. And now we're taking the Tiguan R Line from sand to sea. This is the latest generation of Volkswagen's SUV, improved in every respect. In fact, this goes beyond the benchmarks set by the earlier Tiguan. And for the first time, we are getting the sporty R Line trim in India. In this story, what we're going to be doing is driving from the desert sands from dawn to dusk, where we will end up at the ocean sands. Watch the sunset over the ocean and in the process get acquainted with this new SUV. Fundamentally, the Tiguan is an SUV, so it should be able to do SUV things like going beyond regular road drives. And the desert is the perfect place to put the Tiguan's off-road abilities to the ultimate test. Now, this has got 4-motion all-wheel drive. It's got the different drive modes. On the drive mode selector, you select the off-road mode. And what that does is it evens out the torque distribution between the front and the rear axles. Make sure that more torque is given to the tires that need it the most. More torque is sent to the tires that have got the most grip. Also, the throttle response, the gearbox mapping, all of it is tweaked to ensure you do not get stuck on desert trails. It's also here that we get a first impression of ride quality. Desert trails aren't smooth. There are ruts, there are washboards, but this is handling it with surprising amount of comfort. It's not hammering over things. It's feeling properly robust, like a proper SUV. There's also enough and more power to pull me up these dunes. 201 bhp, plenty. And also it is plenty to have a bit of fun. After all, why would you come to the dunes if not to have a lot of fun? The Tiguan was always a comfortable SUV. This new one, it gets 19-inch wheels, but the ride quality has become better. And that should really help when we hit tarmac and then have to chew in miles for hours and hours. I think our entire route is 800 odd kilometers, and we're going to be doing it from dawn to dusk. We have a long way to go. Time now to stretch the Tiguan's legs on tarmac. Highways like these are a perfect playground for the Tiguan's 2-liter TSI engine. Now, this is a familiar engine, but for the Tiguan R Line, the engine has been upgraded. It now cracks the 200 bhp mark, 201 bhp to be precise, 320 Newton meters of torque, 0 to 100, 7.1 seconds, top speed 229 kilometers per hour. This is a quick SUV. But more impressive is the way it delivers all that power. It still continues with the 7-speed DSG gearbox, and you will notice that the gear lever is no longer on the center console. It has moved to the right of the steering column, and that liberates a lot of space over here. The power delivery of this engine, it is so smooth, it is so responsive, it's so refined, and when you step on it, it takes on a slightly sporty note. This has always been an excellent engine. On a perfectly good road like this, you can use the level 2 ADAS that the new Tiguan comes with. Not so much for safety, because there's nothing really to hit, but more from the perspective of easing the mundaneness of driving on the driver. You have adaptive cruise control, blind spot warning, lane keep assist. Now, on this road, there is no traffic, there really isn't anything to hit, but you could also get bored by the monotony of the road. You might not be paying attention, and this is where lane keep assist, it comes in handy. So suppose you're veering off the lane, this will nudge you back into your lane. There are some goats squatting on the road. Suppose you hadn't paid attention, the emergency braking will brake, stop the Tiguan, save you from your lack of attention, your lack of concentration. These ADAS features on roads like this, they really do work. It's also got adaptive cruise control. So if there was somebody in front of you, you could set it at maybe 80 kilometers per hour. It will brake, accelerate basis that car in front. So all this is really handy. And the best part is, then you switch on the massagers. Yep, the Tiguan R Line now gets massagers, and these seats are really, really good. I like the fact that these are cloth seats. They feel so much nicer on your back, especially now that the summers have come. Leather, I've always said, in the Indian environment, leather just does not work. These cloth seats are comfortable, you get massage, and it's such a nice place to spend long, long hours behind the wheel. But this SUV is for drivers. The R Line brings about all kinds of sporty bits. So sporty bumpers, nice sporty seats, a sporty steering, the R graphics on the digital cluster. The Tiguan retains the driving modes, now accessed via this mode button on the infotainment screen. So you stick it in the sport mode, the engine gets more responsive, the DSG gets more responsive, the adaptive dampers firm up, and you get a properly sporting SUV. VW always made great drivers' cars, and with the Tiguan R Line, it's no exception. In fact, the steering response, the throttle response, the chassis precision, it all takes a step up over the earlier Tiguan. This is a fun to drive SUV. And when you find a few corners, you notice that there's not much body roll, a very responsive front end. The MQB platform, it really strikes a great balance between precision and comfort. The interior is completely new. Nothing has been retained from the earlier Tiguan. Maybe the Volkswagen roundel on the horn pad, but apart from that, everything is new. And this takes a huge step up in terms of desirability, in terms of that wow factor. Now, Volkswagens and the Tiguan, it always had very well built interiors, but they were conservative. They were not designed to be shouty. This one, well, you really stop and stare, especially at night with all that ambient lighting. It looks really, really cool. The infotainment screen is a massive 15 inches. The digital cluster, 10.25 inches. There's so much that you can do on the infotainment. You have your displays, so you can show your temperature gauges, power, torque, all of that, all the different assist functions. You can turn it on and off, the drive modes. You have IDA, so that is Volkswagen's virtual assistant, and you can ask it to open the sunroof, turn up and turn down the stereo. Oh, you get a big sunroof, a massive sunroof. You really do have tons of features in the Tiguan. You get two wireless chargers, not one, two wireless chargers, and this nice little tray. So in terms of ergonomics, actually very nice. You can change the colors of all the ambient lighting. The landscape is changing. The road signs are different. Welcome to Gujarat. And it's only on a longish road trip like this that you come to appreciate how much thought and effort has gone into making this a comfortable SUV. Our route from Jaisalmer takes us on the NH68 to Sanchor, from where locals guide us onto the finished sections of the new Amritsar-Jamnagar Expressway. This is a godsend. A modern expressway, 4 lanes on either side, all the attendant safety barriers in place, and we can set the Tiguan's active cruise control, rely on the safety blanket provided by the Level 2 ADAS, and 2 miles till Santalpur, where the expressway work is yet to be complete. Here, we rejoin the old NH27, where traffic picks up the hundreds and thousands of trucks heading to and from the Kandla port. We even get a massive traffic jam at Gandhidham courtesy the roadworks, and then on we are on the highway heading to the coast. The number of windmills feeding off the winds from the Gulf of Kutch pick up, and by late afternoon, we are at the town of Mandvi. I've just discovered that Volkswagen, they are calling the ambient lighting atmospheres, and you have different modes. You have lounge, joy, nature, energetic, or you can tweak it as you wish. In fact, there's so much packed into this that on a longish road trip, you really do find new things to keep you entertained. 9 and a bit hours after we left the sands of Rajasthan, we've crossed Mandvi town and we are almost at the shoreline. In fact, you can see the shoreline on the maps. In fact, we've gotten here before dusk, and that is a testament to how good the Tiguan R Line is on Indian roads. Now, on such a long drive, there are a lot of new things that you learn about a car. For instance, I knew it had adaptive dampers, but I did not know that there were 15 different settings for the dampers. Now, I'm not sure that between the 8th and the 9th or the 8th and the 10th setting of the damper, you'll really make out any difference. But between the softest and the hardest, definitely you can make out the difference. In fact, in the hardest setting, it feels a little firmer, deals with roads with more authority. A journey like this is a proper test of the car's capabilities, be it off the road, through narrow village roads, on the highway, or even on the shoreline. And through it all, the Volkswagen Tiguan R Line feels really, really capable. This is quick without being harsh. This is comfortable without being floaty. This is fully loaded without being overly complicated. This goes beyond the benchmarks set by the earlier Tiguan. And I love the fact that Volkswagen, they are embracing their sporty heritage. This is loud, this is bold, this is in your face. This is not shying away with conservative design. It turns head and it also enthuses the enthusiast. What a machine! Now, all that's left is to watch the sun come down and kick back and relax after yet another adventure with the Tiguan.